Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Topping the news tonight, the MNIS administration providing a snapshot of the country's financial performance according to the mid-year budget statement. The acting Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest, presented the contribution in the House of Assembly this morning. The document looks at the first 6 months of the year for the 2018-2019 budgetary period. Now, it was presented last May, and the government outlined its plans to end reckless spending, which left it saddled with offsetting $360 million in arrears. Jimenita Swain tells us so far that there has been a decrease in the deficit by nearly $80 million.
In a lengthy presentation of about 71 pages, the acting Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquest, revealed the country's fiscal performance for the first 6 months of the current fiscal year. One of the key promises of the MNIS administration for the 2018-2019 budget was to pay off that $360 million in old bills and reduce the deficit. Turnquest revealed that for the first half of the fiscal year, increased revenue from new taxes paid off a portion of the old bills and decreased the deficit by almost $80 million.
The fiscal deficit contracted by 31%, or $78.7 million, to $175.3 million, in comparison to the same period in the previous fiscal year. And I repeat, we saw a near $80 million reduction year on year in the deficit at the midpoint of the year.
The revenue outrun showed a $129.5 million or 14.7% increase, and while historically revenue collections are up in the second half of the fiscal year with payments that include real property taxes, business license, or other taxes, VAT collections are below what's forecasted.
Nevertheless, with the timing of the VAT payments at the old versus the new rate during the year, as well as the concessions granted to hotels and construction in respect of previously booked reservations and contracts, we now expect total VAT collections in 2018-19 to be somewhat under the budgeted forecast.
That's not the only thing the finance minister says will impact the revenue forecast for the year. He cited the new agreement arrived at between the government and the Bahamas Gaming House Operators Association as another area.
With this new agreement, projected revenue to be collected from the gaming houses will be somewhat below the amounts that had been included in the 2018-19 budget, in the sum of approximately $18 million. In the budget, we had also projected some $80 million in incremental revenue to be secured by the Revenue Enhancement Unit. As the unit will now be fully established in the second half of the fiscal year, later than anticipated, we are projecting a dip in the incremental revenue this fiscal year. All told, we now estimate that revenues will fall short of the budget projections by some 7%, but still come in some $400 million higher than last fiscal year.
There were increases in the expenditure, a major component, paying down on that $360 million arrears the MNIS administration met when it assumed office. Government committed to paying $172 million this fiscal year and has already paid $65.1 million. Here's where those payments went.
The bulk went towards clearing up arrears with CTF Holding Limited, or Bahamar, of $11 million. PHA Medical Supplies, $8.2 million. Consolidated Water, $6 million. Carnival Cruise Lines, $6 million. Various garbage collection vendors, $5.4 million. And the University of the West Indies, $5.4 million.
Turnquest said based on expenditure trends, it's estimated that both the recurrent and capital expenditures will come in somewhat lower than had been projected.
The estimated outturn for capital expenditure is nonetheless now expected to come in below the amount budgeted for the entire year. With the fiscal outturn in the first half and the projected developments in the second half, we now foresee a fiscal deficit in 2018-19 slightly under the budgeted forecast by some $5 to $10 million. Thus, we project presently a budgeted deficit of somewhere near $230 million, which means we remain firmly on target.
Jimenita Swain, ZNS Network News.